Now, a lot of people going, Jay, wait a minute, you're really picking up Thailand. Why did you choose the Philippines? This is why I chose the Philippines over Thailand. Hey guys, it's me, Jay, the Black Filipino TV. Thanks again for watching another video. Now today, I want to get into why I chose the Philippines over Thailand. See, I know a lot of you guys see me in the Philippines for years, and you'll be thinking, well Jay, you've been in the Philippines for 7 years already. But before I came to the Philippines, I actually had a choice of me actually getting married in Thailand. I mean, I'll tell you why it was a choice. And it would have been a decent choice because I've been to Thailand a bunch of times. Not only that, my wife was actually a teacher in Thailand. She was a teacher in Thailand 4 years before I even, like when I met her, like she was already a teacher for 2 or 3 years. So we could have actually went and started a life in Thailand. We could have got married there, started a life there in Thailand. She already had a place to stay. Things would have actually been a lot easier on us, I'll be honest with you, because she already had stable income. I was bringing stable income. It would have been a joint venture at that point. Yeah, guys, I'm going to get into this even more. So let's hop right into the video, and I'm going to tell you why I chose the Philippines over Thailand. The reason why I'm doing this is some of my subscribers have been asking me, hey, Jay, why didn't you move to Thailand? Why didn't you move there? You know, you could have lived there. Kay was living there. And I'm gonna tell you my reasons why. Let me tell you about when I went to Thailand, right? Now, I've been in Thailand twice in the same year. And for both times, I stayed a month. So it really gave me that living in Thailand feeling, you know, being there for a month. And when I got there, Thailand is great. The food is great. Spicy chicken salad.
อร่อยไหมคะ
I need more pepper. That's good. The cost of living is great. It's actually cheaper than the Philippines. Really got the feeling of living in Thailand because when you're out there for a month, you're gonna go out, you're gonna get food on a regular basis, but you can't do it all the time. Of course, you're gonna stay home and cook. So I actually stayed in an Airbnb, and that Airbnb became my home. And being there, you know, I got the feeling of how it is to how groceries are, and I seen that groceries were a lot cheaper. Like I remember I went and got broccoli from the store, right? And in comparison of pesos, it was maybe like 50 pesos, and I got 4 broccoli florets. I'm talking about the big ones. Okay, I got four broccoli florets, and then mangosteen was cheaper, and then, you know, even like you go to 7-Eleven, you get the food in 7-Eleven, and you say if you got chicken basil, right? You can get that from 7-Eleven in Thailand, and it's pretty decent. Of course, it wasn't the best. Now they're getting it from a regular place, but it's very decent, and you can get food anywhere when you're in Thailand. Could have lived there, yes. I could have lived there, and I felt the experience of living there, and it was a great feeling. Also went to the many different parks, right? And in Thailand, they have these exercise parks everywhere. I actually did a video out there in the exercise park. And I really enjoyed it. Tons of tourist destinations, tons of things to do. You know, over to Krabi, and I experienced how it was there. And when I went there, I also went over to Pattaya, right? I went to Pattaya, experienced that in Pattaya Beach. Really over there, going over there is just a great experience just to get out and just see these different places. And I really enjoyed myself when I went to Thailand. Great experience, okay? Great place to live. I felt that way. I feel like if you live in a country for a month, you have somewhat of an experience of what it feels like to live there. So I felt what it's like to live there twice, and I loved it. The great thing was, and that's why I felt what it was like living there, I stayed in that one location for the whole month, meaning I stayed there and traveled around Thailand from that one location. So that's what made it feel like home. And the thing was, I experienced traveling all around. I mean, on the train, went to different parts of Thailand. I went from Bangkok all the way out to Krabi, all within the same month too. Second time I went, that's when I went to Krabi. The first time I went, I stayed in Bangkok the entire time. I went around, fully experienced. Like I went around and ate at pizza company, okay, like Pizza Hut, and I've experienced all the food. Also went out to Kay's school, got to meet her old principal, see Kay's old teachers. Went to church out in Thailand. That was the great thing too, is that Kay was already had relations with people in the church. Like she was very close to them in Thailand. So, you know, not relations, because relations is something different, but you guys know what I mean. Also, when it comes to places to stay, you can get places for very cheap. I mean, the place Kay was staying was like 3,000 baht. But if you get something bigger than that, you can get a place for like an equivalent, when you add it up to the Philippines, 8,500 pesos per month. You know, you're living in something really nice. And it's bigger as well. You know, instead of it being like 30 or even lower than that, usually we get in the Philippines, you know, you're gonna get a lot more. Now, a lot of people going, Jay, wait a minute, you're really bigging up Thailand. Because it needed to be big up, because it was a great place when I stayed. But you're gonna say, wait a minute, I know you're thinking, Jay, why did you choose the Philippines? This is why I chose the Philippines over Thailand. Now, the Philippines is most known for the islands. So my experience out here, as far as the islands, was a little better than Thailand. Also, the time I went, I was on a speedboat in Thailand, and I hated it. And man, that was the speedboat it was a nightmare. You know, on that speedboat, they was flying. I'm talking about it felt like they were doing 150 miles an hour on that speedboat. I felt like I was gonna die. But still, in the Philippines, the islands, it's just way more islands. And I got to experience a lot of those islands. And I loved it. I loved it more. You know, Thailand is more for the infrastructure. Philippines is more for the island experience. So as far as that, that's why I enjoyed the Philippines more as well. And then also, it was the people. It was the people, and family. You know, Philippines is all about family and love. And Thailand was a little disconnected also to the language barrier. That was the biggest one for me. I remember being in Manila, everyone understood English, you know, and if they didn't understand, they understood somewhat. So that made the Philippines a better experience. I'm lazy. I didn't want to learn a language, to be honest with you. You know, when I first went to Thailand, I had to learn a little bit of Thai. When I came to the Philippines, I was just spoiled. I think that's why I still don't understand Tagalog now. And I need to work on that. And that's what made me love it here, okay? Was that I got to come here, experience the people, experience family, and that's why I made that choice. You know, I didn't want to start a new life with Kay. I already knew, I wasn't thinking like most guys. Most guys come and thinking, you know, they just want to have a good time. Me, even though I'm young, I'm only 40 years old, I had all the good time I could have. I've been doing it, traveling in the city, from 18 to 20, banging random girls all day.
What?
Lived a life of probably, these expats lived at 60, that they're coming to live now. I've lived that already. Me, my experience of coming here was to slow down. And I wanted to fully slow down. Felt like if I would have went to Thailand, I probably wouldn't have slowed down. Who knows? I don't know what would have happened. But still, I came here to fully enjoy that slow life that I wanted to get away from. I mean, I wasn't running from anything in the States, but I wanted to get away from the fast life in the States. And that's why I actually moved to upstate New York, because I wanted to get away from it. So moving to the Philippines slowed me down a lot. I think I needed to move here, more so than Thailand. I mean, everything was right there at your doorstep in Thailand, it really was. And the Philippines is like that as well, but it's not quite the same. Because Thailand is almost like New York. It literally never closes. The Philippines in Manila, it never closes, but still, it shuts down somewhat. It's a lot different. See, the province in Thailand is still close access to the city. It's still a little bit liver than Philippines. Like Philippines province is shut down. Everything shuts down at 6. In Thailand province, things are still a little bit more open. Like things will shut down more like 10 than 6. But Philippines in the province, things shut down at 6. So it really shuts down. Like even where I am right now, you know, things may shut down like around 7 or 8. But this is like the city of the province. Slow life is what did it for me. The slow life, it's for some guys it's needed. Some guys love it. Some guys come here from places in the States and they love the slow life. Yeah guys, so if you're still confused and you want to live in Thailand or Philippines, I say this. Think about what it is you need in your life. If you want excitement, you want more excitement, Thailand may be the place for you. If you want to slow down a little bit more, but still have excitement, Philippines will be the place for you, because there's still some exciting things in the Philippines. If you want more excitement, you can stay in Manila, you can stay in Cebu, places like that. But if you want to slow down, you go to the province. But if you want to really slow down and you want a more slower place of life, come to the Philippines over Thailand. But if you want more infrastructure, more food options, you know, go to Thailand, because that's going to give you more of that, you know, more of that Western lifestyle. Pretty much that's the reason why I made the choice. And to me, it was a good choice. If I could do it all different again, would I do it different? I probably would. I probably would add a little more in there. I probably would be there half the time and here half the time. But you know what? I made my choice. You can't live with regrets. Let's go towards the future. Thank you for watching this video. If you like my content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you like my content, you're welcome to support my content by giving a small donation at PayPal. You can go to my Buy Me a Coffee at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. And there you can buy me a coffee, or you can book a consultation with me. I have consultations for a very small fee. Also, I have consultations for working at home. So if you're a guy that's a little younger, not quite retired yet, and you want to work from home while in the Philippines, you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. And also have a packages for working at home, so you'll see them there. You can book it there. You can get a shirt that represents your journey to the Philippines at foxtonomy.creator-spring.com. Once again, that's foxtonomy.creator-spring.com, and get a shirt that represents your journey to the Philippines today. There's a new feature to YouTube. It's thanks. Now at the bottom of this video, you'll see thanks there. You can give it thanks and make sure your comment is highlighted, and you can give a small donation that way as well. Guys, in the description, you'll see other videos of my other content that's great as well. So you can be sure to watch my other content there. Thank you for watching. See you next video.